I've been thinking about the story you told me of your dad making sloe gin and the urgent intuitive desire to use every part. I feel as though the ideas of using things up, exhausting possibilities and recycling has been a constant link between our interests.
I loved the documentary you recommended, The Gleaners and I, by Agnes Varda. I found the urban scenes particularly moving. During lockdown, I started collecting discarded polystyrene and cardboard packaging on my daily walk. I started making smaller work, gathering what litter I could find, and using up what I had in the studio.
I've been collecting industrially moulded pulp paper packaging for some time. I knew that I wanted to use the inverted architecture of the paper trays, and the photographs came from the process of stacking and rearranging them on my studio shelves. I started to think about what packaging is, an outer membrane, an outside skin, and what it does. Wrapping, shielding, cocooning, suspending fragile objects, protecting them from being bruised or broken.
I'm interested in making sculptures which suggest an action or a feeling. Many of the words you use to describe packaging's functions are words which resonate with me: being contained or protected, restricted or liberated, full or empty.
My works mostly look at the outsides of things, working from the outside in. I'm so interested in this aspect of your work too, moving the armature from the inside to the outside, reframing the sculpture with the steel drawing of its support.
I often wonder how I can reverse my own process, or make something the wrong way around. With the works fresh and fire, I battled with how to show them. I made the solid sections first and wanted them elevated from the floor. I did exactly as you said and reframed the sculpture with the support to become part of the work.
Moulding and casting is another way in which the idea of positive and negative comes into the work, and I find it interesting to think about parallels between the sculptural and photographic processes. The outer movements cast also invert the function and material value of the original pulp skins, replacing something tough and throwaway with something delicate and fragile. I'm thinking about the way you've added semi-familiar functional forms such as handles and funnels in your work.
The handle has been a recurring object for some time, emphasizing the hand in the work, but also playfully teasing or inviting the viewer into the work. Funnels are a more recent addition, but I'm not getting bored of their form or meaning. I need a lot of water to generate my material, so I started to think about evaporation or filtering.
Since the height of lockdown, while we were all spending so much time indoors, I became very focused on how bodily sensation might be expressed through images and language. I was doing a lot of home dance-based cardio classes and became really fascinated by how posture and movement was described, zipping up and rooting down, etc., and thinking a lot about gravity, monumentality and weight. This started with thinking about how sculptural photographs can invite reflection on the body and movement. The fixed viewpoint invites or engages the mind to travel around, through or behind the image.
I mixed discarded household paint, another example of gleaning, into the material. For the work in Gleaners, I was mixing different colours of pulp in a more spontaneous way, but also using watered-down washes onto the surface. I have been wondering how I can use colour tones to emphasise touch or pressure.
The edges where the images join or touch also relate to our conversation about bruising. Colour helps to determine the areas of weight and gravity in the arrangements, which creates pressure points in the image. I think about one form bruising another and try and find ways for the more fragile pieces to push back.
I kept adding more water in order to build up colour, so when they eventually dried out, there were many surprises and details I could see for the first time. I suppose framing your work must be a similar feeling. It's done now. That's what I like about the word gleaning so much, and why it's been so appropriate for our show. It's not only about finding, it's the potential of what could happen too.